He was born beneath a sky already breaking. On September 9, 1985, in the city of Zadar, on Croatia's Adriatic coast, Luka Modrić entered a world already trembling under the weight of history. The winds of war had begun to swirl. Yugoslavia, once a patchwork of peoples and ideologies, was coming undone, thread by bloody thread. And while Luka's name would one day light up stadiums and headlines, in the beginning it echoed only in the cracked hallways of a refugee hotel and the narrow spaces between fear and survival. His childhood wasn't measured in birthdays or toys. It was measured in footsteps, his own tiny footsteps, walking behind his grandfather in the rocky hills near their village of Modrić, a place whose name he carried like a quiet prayer. One day, those footsteps stopped. Serbian rebels executed Luka's grandfather outside their home. The house was torched. Everything was gone. Luka was 6. His family fled to Zadar, where the Kolovare Hotel, turned into a shelter for the displaced, became home. He slept among strangers, studied by candlelight when electricity failed, and kicked a ball in parking lots pitted with craters from shell fire. Around him, war swallowed cities, but inside him, something else was forming, not rage, not revenge, but resilience. He was small, always small, thin, with legs like reeds and eyes too big for his face. Coaches doubted him. Scouts dismissed him. His father, Stipe, a Croatian soldier and aero mechanic, believed. Luka believed. Football was his escape, his sanctuary, his world. And slowly, it became his voice. He didn't shout. He passed. He didn't demand attention. He earned it with the weight of silence and the poetry of timing. The ball obeyed him not because he commanded it, but because he understood it. As a boy in Zadar's youth academy, he was already different. He didn't bulldoze opponents, he danced around them. He didn't need speed, he needed space, and he knew where to find it before anyone else even looked. Dinamo Zagreb took him in, but even they weren't convinced. He was loaned to Zrinski Mostar in Bosnia at 18, one of the most physical leagues in Europe. Everyone expected him to break. Instead, he dominated. Then came Inter Zapreshche, then back to Dinamo. Titles followed, but Luka never cared for fame. He cared for the ball, for the game, for the quiet rhythm of control. Then came the call from England. Tottenham Hotspur, 2008. Luka arrived in London with a suitcase full of clothes and a heart full of questions. The Premier League was brutal. Opponents towered over him. He struggled. The media mocked him, too weak, too foreign, too quiet. But Luka had heard it all before. He waited, adapted, and then, like spring after a harsh winter, he bloomed. He became the axis of Spurs' midfield, the invisible engine. He controlled tempo like a conductor with no need for a baton. He didn't just see the next pass, he saw the one after that. Real Madrid watched, and in 2012 they brought him to the Bernabeu. He was 27. The Spanish press called him the worst signing of the season. They didn't understand. You cannot measure wind by the weight of the leaves it lifts, you measure it by the silence it leaves when it's gone. Luka didn't fight back. He studied, he waited, and then, ruled. Real had stars, Ronaldo, Ramos, Bale. But Modrić became the sun around which the galaxy turned. He made Madrid's chaos coherent. He stitched attack to defense, spark to steel. His outside foot passes became trademark. His positioning became gospel. He was never the loudest voice, but he was the one everyone listened to when everything else fell apart. Champions League trophies followed, 4 in 5 seasons. And with each final, Luka glided through the battlefield like a ghost made of silk and stubbornness. He didn't just play matches, he sculpted them. Every touch was intentional, every step was efficient. He didn't run more, he ran smarter. Age didn't slow him, it refined him. But it was in 2018 that Luka Modrić became eternal. Croatia, a nation of 4 million, carried the weight of expectation like a soldier's rucksack. The World Cup in Russia was not supposed to be their story, but Luka wrote it anyway. They were underdogs, tired, bruised, and written off. But in midfield, Modrić held a wand. He beat Argentina with genius, outlasted Russia with ice, outplayed England with will. In every match he covered more ground than players 10 years younger. In every match he found space where none existed. He never shouted, he never roared, he whispered, and the world leaned in to hear him. Croatia reached the final. They fell to France. But Luka walked away with the golden ball, best player of the tournament. Later that year, he broke the Messi-Ronaldo duopoly and won the Ballon d'Or. Alone on stage, holding football's greatest individual prize, he didn't smile broadly or punch the air. He simply nodded, as if to say, "I am still that boy from Zadar. I am still the kid who kicked a ball in a war zone and hoped it would take him somewhere quiet." Even in his late 30s, Luka refused to fade. He re-signed with Real Madrid again and again. He became a mentor, a warrior, a monument in motion. Young stars came, Valverde, Bellingham, Camavinga. But Modrić still started when it mattered, in El Clásicos, in Champions League knockouts, because no one saw the game like he did, because no one felt it like he did. And yet, no tattoos, no scandals, no marketing machine. Just a man, a ball, and a mind that moves like music. Luka Modrić is not a player. He is a survivor, a conductor of chaos, a ghost of war turned guardian of beauty. He is proof that the quietest voices can write the loudest history, that strength is not in size or sound, but in how you endure, how you resist, and how you rise. He is the boy who saw his world burn and spent his life creating something beautiful in its place. He is simply the smallest giant football has ever known.